It's starting now. Hi,
I'm
everybody. This is Luz Aguirre with the Hawk Mindset and Laura and Luz and Laura's
Cross.
Happy Hour.
Laura
Hi,
Cross.
Laura.
Hi, how are you, Luz? So
I'm good.
wonderful to see you. And
Yeah, we've been talking on the phone without seeing each other.
that's right. That's right. It's always good to look into your eyes and see your beautiful
Yeah,
face, for sure. That's kind
yeah.
of why we're doing the podcast instead of just talking on the radio, right? Because
Yes, exactly.
it's way more powerful when you actually see us, because you can tell if we're in truth or not.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the hangout thing because it's kind of like a conversation in the porch of your house on a late, summer night, very casual,
Yeah,
kind of bringing you to, it's kind of like intimate. I like it a lot.
yeah, me too. Me too. And
Yeah,
and everybody is a part of this, okay? Even though we're doing it and there's not other people here, but everybody's a part of this because that's what this hangout is. So you're hanging with
exactly.
us. You're
Exactly.
hanging with us. And take notes because you are going to have some really amazing thoughts that come to you during this thing. I can tell you right now because I have my notebook right here because I write down because I get enlightened and I'm like, oh, I got to write that down or I'll forget. And it's brilliant stuff for later. It's like dessert after the podcast is over.
Exactly.
So yeah. So okay.
So we were
So
talking, we were going to talk about addiction today. It seems that, it's kind of the word of it's so important to address the elements of addiction in ways that are different than the ones we have been served so far.
yes,
So,
currently.
so, the other day I had this conversation with you, and we've been meaning to have this conversation in the Hangouts about the addiction. And it was an article that said, scientists find the root of addiction, and it's not what you think.
Exactly.
And
So,
uh, and I went like, oh my God, I want to go there because I'm pretty sure I'm going to resonate with that part. And it's totally fascinating subject, and that's what we want to talk about now,
okay,
right?
right. And what you just said, okay, what you just said, that word you said is resonate, okay?
Yeah,
And if you're in
yeah.
addiction, you're not resonating.
Well, this is the part that I was telling you, right?
Yeah,
I I always felt, I was raised with trust and with trust and critical thinking, and I always felt like, and of course, it was like I always had a conversation with my father since I could speak about the world, about the reasons, where do we come from, who we are, where are we going, what's the universe. These conversations, I mean, were like the milk, the tit that I got, right? It's the tit. So it's like
that's
every
it.
day conversation.
Nourishment.
So
Yeah, it was nourishment.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was like always, history, the Greeks, and the musicians, and the masters, and what were they thinking, why they were thinking. So all of that was a very deep conversation early on in my life. So it was fascinating. This is, I think, it's so fascinating because at some point I'm going, of course I went through life, to different countries, going, creating these conversations with everybody because of course I gravitated to that. So it was interesting because I, at some point in my life, I remember thinking that the biggest addiction I had was the addiction to the soul conversation. That I could not go through life. The only reason why I could stay 66 years in this planet is because I could not go through life without connecting at the soul level with another human being, whoever this human being came from, on the street, you know, anywhere, anybody that crossed my path, I was with my antennas right there to feed this addiction.
Yes. Absolutely. And
so, you know, and at some point I'm going, you know, depending on what culture you're dealing with, you know, whether it's Victorian or Latin American or whatever, you know, I'm thinking, well, that's my addiction, right? It's my addiction.
It is your addiction.
So,
and he's agreeing with you.
Yes, totally. Yeah, she's.
The dogs
Viva,
are like
you need
right
to go
on
away because you're making too many noises. God.
He's agreeing with you. He knows.
She's scratching her back against the carpet. Crazy.
She's like, it sounds just right, Luz. That's so cool.
Anyway, so, you know, so that was I had a question, you know, that's one of the questions, you know, and of course I was gregarious and I was very verbal. So I needed to verbalize these thoughts out loud because I grew up thinking out loud. Everybody thought out loud in my house, no matter what. There were no secrets. Everything was treated as something that needed to be treated out loud.
Right.
And we all pitched in for the solution.
Right.
You know? So to me, the conversation of the Washington, D.C., you know, cocktail party, it's so horrible. It's like, what are these people doing, you know, how much money you make, the weather.
What are they doing?
I got to deal with this and that. You know, all those conversations that went on in those years that I was pretty active in that part of the different events in the Hispanic community in Washington. It was easier to live with my addiction in Europe than in the United States because I had more people that were open to the soul conversation there. Right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And well, and you know, it's like, okay, so it's like this, you know, I mean, I'm into the frequency and I love to do music and I'm in that frequency.
And you and I do that same thing. It's the joie de vivre.
That's right.
The joy of living.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
But I also get that joy when I talk to a PTSD soldier.
Uh-huh.
Because that is a soul-to-soul connection there. You cannot get any deeper. They're sharing their deepest, darkest secrets with me. What a freaking amazing, beautiful thing. Okay? To share soul to soul like that with another human being. And have them trust you. Right? Trust you.
Exactly.
That can be addicting now, can't it?
It is so addicting.
It is.
So, you know, I went through life with many other addictions because it was very difficult to live in 3D. I mean, addictions in terms that I always say, you know, everything in moderation, right? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's key.
I mean, but everything, because everything has something to give you, you know? Everything has something to give you.
That's right. Absolutely. That's what I just
I
told my daughter today. Everything in moderation is key. That's what I told my daughter on our walk today. We were talking, and I said, moderation is key. You know, I've been sitting too much, and I need to stand and move and walk and dance, right? Equally.
And the thing is that if you forbid it, you know, then it creates a monster.
It does.
Then it creates, you know, because there's a drive for the experience anyway. So it's interesting that you know, I'm finding out through this conversation and not so much work we've done, that that addiction that I have is the one, and you have, and so many people have. It's the one that we need to plug in. You know, it's kind of like the one that we need to uh, connect to the other addictions. So it's like, so we have the you know, it's like a hose, right? Connect to this.
Right.
The other addictions connect to this connection, which is the soul conversation. You know, the figuring out how to navigate together so that we can remember that we are one, and that we have to co-create and manifest realities in this world.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so because my whole take on that is that right now we're living another reality which was created for us by other people.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for us to not be an addiction, we have to start creating our own reality on top of the other one. I mean, essentially, you know, there's the matrix, if you want to call it that. Some people call it that. You know, people are like totally ensconced in there. That's the place where addiction lies. That's where it's fed. That's where it's created. That's where it's
Addiction is born in isolation.
Well, yeah, and so that's where we are in the matrix.
Yes, let me get something here. I need to get the earphones because I want to, you know, the sound to be better.
Yes, okay. Yes, okay. So
you know, it flourishes in isolation, of course, because what is it? You know, it's the need to connect to divinity that we have been raped of.
Absolutely, in every way, shape, and form. And we think we can get it through shopping, eating, sex, alcohol, drugs, energy drinks, cigarettes. How many are there? I don't know. There's so many, right? So and the deal is, okay. So I'm of the mind that that you can do those things if you do them in moderation, and they're not doing things. They're not affecting you in a damaging way, right? I mean, I believe that, you know, everybody has free will, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they need to do those things. I mean, because in some ways those things are good for us. In some ways they are.
Yeah.
But in other ways they are not. Okay. And everybody knows when we've gotten over into the danger area, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks. You know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. They know when they're drinking too much. They know when they're doing behaviors. You know.
And you have to only experiment, you know, a few times of getting completely drunk, you know, to understand how that goes in your body and and you know, and make the best of it. I mean, I love, you know, it's like I'm a Mediterranean person. It's a wine culture. I was born in wine country. The Greeks, the Romans. I'm sorry, you know, it's like I love wine, but you know, even wine in you know what I mean. Everything in excess, excess is going to kill you.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the deal, you know, and it isn't. I mean, we're kind of walking this fine line, so it's important for us as you know, individuals to identify those behaviors, because it's all about our behaviors and our action. And knowledge is experience, so we need to start taking our knowledge and kind of reviewing the experience that we've gotten from it,
Right.
And then we can change our behavior in a healthy way, and
Yeah.
still maintaining those things that at one point gave us a problem. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was addicted to food at one point, but I cannot X food out of my life entirely, so I have to
Right.
learn to live with this addiction, right? And
Yeah.
embrace it and say, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm no longer addicted to food.
Yeah.
I'm no longer addicted to food. That's it.
Well, because you
You
connected
know?
with divinity at a different way. At some level,
Exactly.
what happens is that the addiction comes in the desperation of the human being, of disconnection with divinity through others, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why I wanted to talk about that article, because it's so fascinating, and I always believe that, and I know you believe that, and we've talked about it. Excuse me, so many times regarding, all this stuff of blaming and guilting people for stuff they do that they can't control. It's ridiculous. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't work. We need to go to the root of the cause, to the root cause of the problem, right?
Well, and essentially that is our own inner being. That's our soul self. We have to go inside ourselves to fix that situation. I don't consider it problems, but to fix that situation, we have to go inside ourselves and find out where the root of that is. There is a root.
Yeah, so
somewhere
they did
sprouted.
where the root, exactly, where the root is, because it's always easy when you find the root. Then you understand why it's happening, right? It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. It's simple, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to bring in the 7 pillars here, okay? Because that's part of the... Oh, you don't want to do that yet? Okay.
I know you want to do that so much, but hold 1 second. Because, okay, I really want to bring this idea, this new idea about addiction with the laboratory rats, and how they have found that that what they are talking about, the addiction, is to that connection, that it happens with the rats in laboratory, because they put the rat in isolation and they give them the drug.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's what I want to talk about, this experiment that this guy did. It's totally fascinating. It's going to confirm what we've been talking about. And then I'll give you the stage for the 7 pillars.
All right.
Can't wait. So
okay. So yeah. So we need to frame this. Oh wait, I want to. Yes. What's your name? Come here. Be in this. Say hello. Say hello to Luz. Here's one of the little boys that came in.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
What's your name?
What is it?
Brandon.
Hi, Brandon. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Brandon. Nice to meet you.
She's saying hi to you.
Say hi.
Say hi now. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Have a good day, okay?
Okay.
You're going to be on the internet.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right. One of my little...
I love it. I love it. So
they all come over and want to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We're going to have line very soon there. So, we're talking. So this guy says, okay, if you put a rat in a cage and you give them the rat is going to continue to eat the drug and to take the drug until it kills itself. Okay?
Right.
Now, this guy says, okay, that's if you put the rat in isolation. What if we create a community house for the rats with the best facilities for the rats, and we put, a lot of rats in there living together?
Yeah, yeah.
And what happens if we give them the drug? So they give them water, plain water, and then water with the drug. And they find that some rats, that everybody kind of tries the drug, and it escalates just a little bit, but then they go back and they don't take the drug anymore because they are connected to the community in a way they don't feel the need to a connection to a drug anymore, because now they are doing that soul conversation with their community, whatever it is, and they are experiencing this together, right?
Absolutely.
As a community.
Absolutely.
So then this guy says, okay, great, that's clear. Then he says, now what would happen if we bring to this rat community one of those rats that were in solitary confinement and were, you know, on the way to become complete, on the way to kill themselves. Yeah. What happens if we put them in that community where we give them water, and we give them water with the drug? What happens? Guess what happens? Is that in the beginning they take the drug and they start less and less and less, and they don't take the drug anymore. And to me, this is the most fun finding that totally confirms what we've been talking about. And that it's a completely different concept about drugs. It's not about the chemical imbalance. It's about the lack of connection with one another. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And the connection in ourselves.
Exactly.
Because we need to have our chakras all in line, or...
There you go.
Or we're going to be out of alignment. We're going to be out of resonation. We're going to be in dis-ease and have dis-ease. Right?
Yeah. And we need to get something because it's too painful to live in 3D. For all of us, it's too painful. People.
It is too painful to live in 3D or to live in the matrix, however you want to call it. Yeah. In the matrix, in 3D, however you want to call it, whatever term you want to use for yourself. People need to take these things that we're saying and use them in their own vernacular, you know, in a way that resonates with them, because we're all resonators. But we all resonate. Yeah, but we all resonate differently. But we can do it as a community, because we need that guy over there that resonates different. I need that guy over there that resonates different.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I need that other guy, the other girl over there that resonates differently. I need that. Well, I need it.
Yeah.
That's what the addiction becomes. Yeah. I need it. I need the co-creation. Yeah. I need the community. I need the cooperation. I need to not be excluded.
That's the new drug.
It is a new drug. Yes, and it's okay to be hooked on it.
That's what we're doing here.
It's okay to be hooked on this.
You know, stoned with
love and life and life.
So creativity.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the deal is that even those people that are living with addiction and having a difficulty with it, and even if they're sociopaths, or if they're psychopaths, or if they're socio-psychopaths or psycho-sociopaths, essentially. They will come on board with you, because we are showing them a way for them to share what they have and still be accepted and not be shunned. Right? Yeah. I mean, we embrace them. We embrace them. We hug them. Yeah. It's time to hug, Luz. Yeah. It's time to hug ourselves. I'm hugging Lana and Eva and Angela and my babies and the whole world, because we all need a freaking hug, right?
Oh my God! Especially from ourselves.
Because we're community.
You hug yourself.
It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful. I sent hugs today to many people.
I love it. I love it.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I love you all.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
This is the best Valentine's I've ever had in my entire life, because I did not rely on one other person to make my day.
There you go.
I'm relying on so many. So many.
What a great thing, huh?
Yes,
what a great thing to co-create. It's so much easier. Yeah, I mean, look at the things I've been doing look at the things I've been doing and how things are advancing, and it looks like I was stuck and I wasn't working. Look at the things that
Yeah. Oh, I know. Me too. I felt like I was
that's
like,
what happens.
I was like, oh my God. You know, where's that freaking cattle prod, right?
It happens with the mastermind. It happens with other people. You cannot do it alone.
Nope, nope. And see, and that's the deal. I mean, you know, and if people that know my story, I mean, some people that are maybe listening to this don't know my story, but the deal is I've died twice, and I was given all these tools and all these wonderful information to share something with humanity, and have this huge mission, and it's like I can't do this on my own. I need everybody. No, I need everybody, and I had to learn how to connect because I was walking around not wanting to connect.
Right. Exactly.
Because I was being attacked a lot. I was being attacked a lot. Yeah. So that's the deal.
So now you can tell us about the 7 pillars.
Okay, so a few of the tools that I've used is the Hawk Mindset, and within the Hawk Mindset is the 7 pillars. Now, these have really gotten me to a couple of next levels, right? I mean, not just the next level, but like massive next levels, okay? So I'm talking in the clouds now, all right? And as I'm speaking right now, there are beautiful billowy clouds outside and not one chemtrail, okay? Which means there's animals in the clouds, which is what I put on the internet yesterday, and people must have seen my post and decided that they had not seen sunbreaks in a while or fluffy animal clouds, because now today we have animal clouds. Woo! I mean, you know, is this a group consciousness or what? I mean, I'm just saying.
God.
Right? I mean, I have changed the clouds in myself, but the deal is that this took a lot more than me.
Yeah.
Facebook was wonderful, and if they read my post, they had a positive thought about how come I don't see sunbreaks anymore, right?
Yes.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's positive energy right there, okay? So that's kind of how all this works. And then you start to see how it all works, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I want to get to the 7 pillars because it is so important. So important. And it will make sense to everyone, okay? So when I met Luz, she had these recordings. Now the first one that I started to edit, and editing was a good way to really hear it, and have it like cement itself in my soul. And the first one is truth, okay? Now, when we tie these 7 pillars with our 7 chakras, an amazing thing happens. There's energy that just opens up, and it makes it perfectly clear that this is how we need to get back to who we are. Now, the truth sits up here in our crown chakra, right? Now, I mean, I don't know how many people are aware that our crown chakra is, you know, pretty much the top of our body, and we can bless people with it. I do it all the time. I bless people with it. Now, the deal is that if you're not sitting in truth, which I'm sitting in now, I tell the truth all the time, and, you know, some people don't like the truth. That's okay. It's only painful for a minute. It's only painful for a minute. It's less than childbirth.
I know, but after a while, afterwards, it feels so much better, even if the entire world is against you.
Absolutely.
Because you stand tall with your soul, man, and nobody can take that away from you.
That's right. And the deal is that my truth...
The thing about the truth is that,
is my experience and my knowledge, okay?
Yes, amen.
And I have a lot. And I have a lot. I have a lot. A lot more than most people, and that was, I mean, kind of designed for me, I guess, for my life. Yeah. So the deal is,
figure.
Go figure. So, you know, so what do I do with this, right? You know, what do I do with this, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the first thing I do when I start to tell the truth and I start to hear the truth and I'm really aware of what the truth is at that point, I acknowledge it, which gets us to the third eye chakra, acknowledgement, which is the second pillar. Acknowledgement, right here. You see it. I see it clearly. I told the truth, and now I'm acknowledging the truth. It's right here in my third eye. It's in your third eye too, everybody. Everybody, okay? We need to acknowledge each other. We need to acknowledge each other. That's part of the community. That's part of the cooperation. That's part of loving each other in however we are, okay?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Okay, and so then the deal is that once you kind of get the truth and the acknowledgement part of it, which, you know, it takes some work to get there. It takes some work to get there. But, you know, you get to your throat chakra, and right at your throat chakra is fear. Now, the thing about the fear is that, you know, a lot of people stop there because they're afraid, but the deal is that we have to keep going. We have to keep going on this quest, because once you get in truth and once you get an acknowledgement right here, you're not fearful anymore. You're not fearful anymore, okay? So it kind of takes care of itself. It takes care of itself.
Yeah.
I left some See's candy on the table.
Amazing.
Yummy! I love See's candy. Oh, yummy. Nice.
Huh?
So then,
Then?
You can have some of it. Don't eat it all.
Then you go to fear in your throat, right?
right, fear in your throat. Okay, and now I want to kind of relate these three that we've already gone over, because I kind of want to make this kind of clear right now about the dis-ease. Okay, now if you're having dis-ease in your life, which I like to say dis-ease, which causes dis-ease.
Yes.
If you're not accepting your truth, you may be having brain issues, okay, like brain aneurysms or brain tumors or whatever, okay? Now, if you're going to your third eye, you may be having eye problems. You may, if you're not acknowledging what your truth is, you may be having those problems, okay? You may be having those problems. Now, if you're not acknowledging
and the other part of it, and the other part of it is that if people are not acknowledging you, you need to acknowledge yourself.
Mama.
Yeah, well, and that's the deal. I mean...
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. That's the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just acknowledging other people, but it's about acknowledging your own truths, where those stem from.
I mean, if now nobody, I mean, it's very painful to go through life without acknowledgement. Acknowledgement, I think, is one of the things that have been stripped from the. If you don't acknowledge, I mean, I think it's more important than forgiveness. People talk about forgiveness, but you don't want to. It's not about forgiveness. It's about acknowledgement, really.
You're absolutely right about that.
So we're missing a piece of the equation there that's huge, and that's why it fit into the third eye. Oh my God, amazing.
Okay, well, and the deal is too that, I want to say this about acknowledgement, because the PTSD guys that I work with, I was forgiving them for their crimes or whatever they felt they had done, right? But the deal was that I found once I started acknowledging it, all right, they were forgiving themselves, okay?
Yeah.
Because that's the deal. That's the deal.
Yeah, because once you acknowledgement discombobulates everything. You don't need forgiveness after acknowledgement.
No, you don't. You don't. Because they do
all
it
you
for
want
themselves.
is somebody
they go,
to
oh
say,
my God. Oh, they go, oh my God. You get it. You get it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You get it. And so I'm not a horrible beast, right? You've experienced things similar to me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And that's the deal. And it works for me with my PTSD guys, because I have been there, okay? I've seen all the horrors. I've seen all the terror. I've seen the rape. I've seen it, all right? All of it.
Yeah.
And they get that. I don't even have to tell them about it. They know already just from my frequency that I get it.
Well, they are the first line victims.
They
In
are
my
the first
view,
line.
they are the
Yes.
first line
line
victims of this whole thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the deal is that once you deal with those things, you know, you can get to the fear. By the time you get to your throat, you're no longer in fear because you get it. Things make perfect sense. You start to see things that you never saw before. You start to accept things that you never accepted before. You start to, you know, it's like the quilt has started, and you're making a beautiful one at this point. And in order to finish the quilt, you have to move down. You have to move down. Okay. Now, so after fear, we move to the heart chakra. Okay, and we move to the fourth pillar. Okay, which is errors. Okay. I mean, once you get through the fear, you can really start to take care of the errors. The ones that you've committed, the ones that have been committed against you, you know, in your name, however you see them. And we all make errors. We all make errors. All of us. So we have to you know, we have to just say, okay.
The thing is that you have to revalue errors because humans learn through errors and trials and errors. So you have to revalue errors as opportunities. They are all here, you see. You know, errors as opportunities, right?
Absolutely, as opportunities every time.
Rather than, you know, blame me, guilt me because I committed an error. That's beyond crazy. That's nuts. That should not happen. And all these pillars that we were talking about, what they really are a revaluation of these universal principles, which is truth, acknowledgement, fear, errors, and you can go on, darling.
Yes, baby. And okay, so once we start to address the errors, right? We go into our solar plexus area, you know, which could be the stomach area, that, you know, that middle part, you know, the part where you kind of feel uncomfortable a lot of times, and you're thinking, why am I having that feeling right there? Yeah. You know, well, you know, the thing about it is the fifth pillar happens to line up right there, and it's judgment. Okay, so I mean, if you're pointing your fingers at a lot of people and going, oh, that person's doing da 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 da, remember you have 4 fingers pointing back at you, and that maybe you ought to not be pointing your finger at them, but you ought to be having all 5 of them pointing at you and saying, why am I judging this person when I've done the same thing or something similar? I need to deal with that before I can, like, point my finger at someone else and say they're doing it wrong. We've all committed crimes.
Well, you know, judgment.
But we have no right to judge each other.
It's a trap.
Yes, it is a trap.
It's a trap because it goes with the idea that you have to be the only one. So if you're the only one, you have to compete with others, and you don't understand that every time you judge somebody, you're taking yourself off the equation in the same way, because it's a trap. It's a trap. Because you don't need to compete with them, and you don't need to judge anybody.
Well, and I need to add too that, you know, something that you also say is, you know, is that it's the virus of the mind. Now, those things are the virus of the mind.
Yeah.
Fear, errors, judgment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And that's you know, that's the thing that we can cure with these things. You know, we can cure the planet in this. I know that we can.
Well, it's really doing a revaluation of the way we think. It's not rocket science again. It's just a simple thing.
No.
Go through those 7 pillars and revalue your thinking. And what we're finding is that this revalue your thinking is coming out, opening the chakras, and this is why we're so excited about this.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the deal. It's like, you know, you cure the virus of the mind. You didn't have to take any drugs. You didn't have to freaking go into rehab or any of that. You know? I mean, you didn't have to. Yeah.
Hello, darling. What? We're what? You're here? Oh, great! I wait for you. Great. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, I love it. Okay, great. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, darling. Love you.
Is
Okay,
that
she's
Renata?
coming now, finally. You see, we did
Oh, cool.
everything. Amazing.
Yes. All right.
Okay,
Great.
so let's go with the pillars because I'll have to go. We'll have to wrap
Okay.
up soon, I
All right.
think.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we got to judgment.
Oh my
and
God, I'm sorry. I took off the. Oh. Okay, sorry. I was asleep.
That's okay. It's okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So we got to judgment. Okay. And like I said, those things are a part of the virus of the mind, and that's the deal about the 7 pillars, is that you have it within your body and in your frequency and in your energetic cellular thing to change your DNA. Okay, you can literally change your DNA. Now the next
with
one.
the vibration of words and frequencies.
Frequencies, exactly right, exactly right.
And vibration of your words. I mean, literally, you can change your DNA by the things that you talk to yourself, by the things you tell yourself. Huh? Talk about
Yes.
addiction.
Absolutely, okay, and the things that you tell other people, because you're listening to yourself, okay, that's what you're sending out, everything.
Yeah.
Every word you say, every emotion that you send, you're sending out to the world. Every choice you make is something that you're sending out to the world, and it causes ripples in places you don't even realize.
Yeah, we are. Here's the other part. You know, I always say this thing. We have a biological body, an electromagnetic body, and a spiritual body working at the same time. You know, the electromagnetic body is, we can't even grasp the things that we can do through our thoughts. You know, it's
Absolutely.
amazing. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I've lost 140 pounds. Okay, I'm healthier than I've ever been. My blood sugar is low. My freaking heart rate is like 62. My blood pressure is 105/68 the last time they took it. I'm 57 years old. They told me I was supposed to have my knees replaced. I'm walking, I'm jogging, a ton, and dancing, and even though I'm still having some issues with my knees, those things that I could not do 4 years ago. Okay, so the deal is that this works on everything. It works on everything.
Totally.
And I have to get to the next one, because we did judgment, which kind of lays in the gut. Okay, so like if you're walking around judging everybody, you're going to be having stomach problems. I'm just telling you.
And the problem is that it means that inside you're competing with others. So because if you're judging, you're going to be judged. When you're judged,
you're judging yourself.
It's like a punch in the stomach. It hurts much.
You're just like, oh my gosh, you know.
Because why?
Absolutely.
Because you're doing things, what? Because you're experiencing life? Come on.
Right, exactly. Okay, so the next one is down in our reproductive area. I mean, that translates for the men in the prostate area, and for women in their vaginas, and in their creative point.
Reproductive,
in your reproductive area. So the deal is that right there is clarity. Okay. Now you only get to clarity, and you get over disease after you've gone through truth, acknowledgement, fear, errors, and judgment. Okay. Right. Okay. So the deal is that when you get to those places, you start to see clearly that this area is amazing. It has amazing energy, and we have to ask ourselves, which leads us to the 7th chakra, which is our sacrum, and for the women, I like to call that our portal of creation.
I love
because
that.
that's what
Yeah,
it
I
does,
love
because
that.
that's
Yeah,
what it is. And for men, it's
yeah,
also their portal of creation.
yeah,
Yes, you know, their sort of creation, however you want to put
yeah,
it, but that's the deal.
yeah.
And the seventh pillar is self-responsibility. Oh no, where'd you go? You
I'm
disappeared.
here. I'm
Oh, you
here.
are? Oh, okay. All right.
I am
So,
here.
so, so, yeah, okay, I'm here. I got you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
self-responsibility, think about that. How many people are having self-responsibility with that area of their bodies right now? Just how
Yeah.
many? Really, how many? Okay. Now,
I
the
don't
deal
think
is,
people know. I don't think people know much about what it means, really,
no, they don't
because they
know. And
have
that's,
not been modeled it
no,
enough.
well, and that's the deal. I mean, you know, people are using it in ways that it was really not meant to be used. I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about it, right? So,
Yeah.
so, and we need to be guarding that area,
Yeah.
because that's our self-responsibility. That's our responsibility right there.
Well, the thing
That's
is
who we are.
that if
You
you
know?
take responsibility for your actions and what you created, the impact of your actions in other people, then you are a creator.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are a manifester and a creator. If you don't take responsibility, then you're giving the responsibility to somebody else. You can't do that leap to co-creating. Co-creating entails a completely different thing, and it's based on self-responsibility because, okay, I'm self-responsible for my life. This is what I have done with my life. I have created this experience I needed to live, go through, whatever it is. I mean, it's your journey and it's sacred for everybody,
Everybody,
you
right?
know.
And it's
So if
different
you,
for everybody.
yeah, so you own this thing, then you're responsible for it. Then you can literally reach out and co-create with your brothers and sisters, right?
Right,
With
and
your,
and you can share that space in with someone that gets it,
yeah,
right? Right?
exactly.
Then we have responsible behavior. We have children that are created out of, beautiful things instead of
Yeah,
nastiness, right?
right.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and out of all those other emotions like, fear and doubt and anger and hate and sadness. Okay, because a
yeah,
lot of times, we use that area to kind of work out those things, those emotions.
right.
And I know that I did because I was abused and for many, many years. And when I was old enough, I went out and used that area in a destructive way to other people,
Yeah,
to men
yeah,
mainly, right?
yeah,
And that,
yeah.
and that's because I was modeled that.
Well,
That's what I was
the
modeled.
thing is that when you place the responsibility on somebody else, it's because you're emotionally a child because you're not a grown up, and.
That's exactly right. It's your 4-year-old going, I want this and I want it now, and I don't care what the
Yeah,
consequences are. Just give it to me now,
yeah,
right? Just give it
yeah,
to me now.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Here's the thing that's kind of the root of addiction. I always say this. I always say that the only person in the world that deserves to be the center of the universe is the 4-year-old. If you don't give the
absolutely.
4-year-old that, you're going to have a 70-year-old body with a 4-year-old in a 70-year-old body because they're going to go bloody murder, that they've never got it, right?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the deal. It's like, I just had some lady walk by and tell me that I'm so beautiful.
Ah, you are. Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you. She's lovely. She's lovely
So
herself.
beautiful.
She's beautiful too. Absolutely. And that she recognizes beauty. I like it.
I know. I know. I
Yeah.
know. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Baby, so
Yeah.
so can we leave it? I think we're kind of. Is there
I think we
anything?
got it. I think we got it good. And the deal is that, okay, so I'm going to go over them real quick. We got truth
Okay.
at the
Okay.
crown. We got
Yes.
acknowledgement at our third eye. Okay? We got fear at our throat. Okay? We have right here in our heart, we have errors. Okay?
Embrace them. Embrace them. Embrace them.
Embrace them. Embrace your errors.
Embrace them.
They're yours.
Embrace them.
They're yours. They're
They are
yours.
part of
They're
who you
yours.
are.
That's right. And then we're in our stomach, we have judgment. Okay. We need to think before we talk. Mindful.
We need to eradicate
Mindful.
it.
Yes. Mindful. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. What my mother used to say to me, and it works. Right. And then with the next thing down, we have clarity, which is like the icing on the cake, but it's upside down. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
and yes, and then we hit self-responsibility at the bottom, which is really the start of us. Which is really the start of us.
Exactly.
And that's the candles on the cake. It's the candles on the cake. It's an inverted cake, is what it is. So that's the deal.
Yeah.
So yeah. So so we're giving you this gift today, and we're hoping that you'll.
And there's one thing I wanted to say about the clarity that's very important. Is that
very important.
the clarity, you only get the clarity once you understand that in order to change the world, all you can change is yourself. The only control you have is over you. So if you're not changing you while you change the world, you're clapping with only one hand.
One hand. That's right. Okay. So I'm going to say this. Okay. If you're 100 pounds overweight, okay, you're wearing your pain on your body, and in order for you to help others in that state, you must go inside. You must go inside. You must go inside and heal your pain. And the way to do that is to use the 7 pillars. Okay.
It's a very interesting, yes, it happens in a very organic way without anybody telling anybody what to do. It's beautiful, right? It's very organic. You need to do anything. All you have to do is listen to 4 to 7 recordings, and we're doing it we're going to do it in a way that then we'll have a session with people so that they can put together the 7 pillars with their life. But it's very organic and very easy it's not effort, it's effortless and
it makes sense. And then the deal is that you just start to resonate these frequencies, okay? Because that's kind of the deal. You start to resonate that.
We all have to revalue all these principles. We have to revalue them.
We have to, and we revalue everyone. And people say to me, "Oh, you're so loving and you don't judge." Well, you know why I don't judge? Because I've been there. I've done all those crimes. I've done crimes.
Yeah.
I've had crimes committed against me, and and I can't sit back here and say I love you and not accept the crimes that you may have committed. That's all. Acknowledge, right? Acknowledge them with the knowledge that I have, and because knowledge is experience, right?
Exactly.
And if we act in the knowledge,
all we're doing really here is transmuting the knowledge, the experience into knowledge.
That's right. That's right.
That's our mission with the Hawk Mindset: transmute the experience into knowledge. Yeah.
And then we can actually behave in the knowledge.
Yeah.
We can actually take action in the knowledge, and then we can share it like we're doing right now.
And it really goes in automatic pilot after a while.
It does.
Once you do the first monitoring of your thoughts, it really goes on automatic pilot. It's really great.
And you love being in the frequency that it creates in your body, in yourself. You start to feel so complete. Once you start to feel whole, you go, oh my gosh, I just want to be there more. And then you get to the point where you want to co-create with others who are also...
So now we are connected to that rug, right? The rug that we were talking about
in the beginning, yes.
The one of the soul connection.
Absolutely.
What an ecstasy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, how amazing. You're so amazing, Liz.
Okay, baby. Thank you so much. This was so great. I'm running away from the sun. It's chasing me here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
I love you too. Happy Valentine's. Thank you so much.
Happy
This was
Valentine's
great.
to everybody. This is our Valentine's Day gift to you. Okay. And I hope that you all use it in a way that will make it really special for your Valentine next year. How about that?
There you go. Soul connection.
Soul connection, right? Yes, absolutely. All right.
Yes.
Everybody hug each other. Everybody hug. Everybody hug. I'm hugging me. All right.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we're still live.